Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John and welcome to week 3 of Horror Mayhem. So the chosen genre for this week of Horror Mayhem is cosmic horror, which is your stuff like H.P. Lovecraft. So for this one I decided to read a story. Now I've never read this author before. And he has not put out a lot of books. In fact, as far as I know, like I've said before, I think he's only put out 2 books. One was a gigantic novel called The Ceremonies, and the other was a collection of novellas called Dark Gods. Alright, so it is from Dark Gods that I have chosen to read a story called Black Man with a Horn. Let me repeat that. My voice kind of hitched there for a minute. Black Man with a Horn. Alright? So I'm actually re-recording this video. I recorded this yesterday and I thought about it and I thought, you know what, I don't like the way this video came out. I didn't like the end result, so I'm going to redo it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll tell you about what the story is about. It's only about 50, I think it's only about 50 pages, so I don't know if that classifies it as a, let's see, 131 to 177. It's about a little over 40 pages. So I guess that classifies it as a short story, just a little bit long. I don't think it's quite long enough to be a novella. But anyway, it's told in first person, and that is one thing I like about the story. Is that it's told in the first person, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But it's told in first person from the point of view of this fellow. He's about 77. I think he says he's going to be 78 years old for his next birthday. And he's a writer, and he is a disciple, so to speak, of H.P. Lovecraft. Kind of a, I don't know, kind of a student of Lovecraft, kind of a, Lovecraft was kind of a mentor to him, I guess you could say. But he tells the story of being on this plane and meeting this fellow, and the fellow tells him he is a missionary. The guy, the man whose name is Mortimer, he's a reverend or a former reverend, I believe, is a missionary, and he tells this fellow, our narrator, all about visiting Malay, which I'm not sure, and I'm not sure what exact year this takes place in. But I'm not sure if Malay is supposed to be Malaysia or not. But anyway, he encounters this tribe, and he talks about the Chalchas. And, you know, he tells him all about that. So the two of them part ways. And this fellow, Mortimer, now Mortimer seems to think he's being followed. He seems to think that his life is in some sort of danger. All right? So later on, our narrator reads that this pastor or former pastor has gone missing, and he realizes this is the same fellow that is on the plane. So he decides to do some investigating. All right? Now, investigating during this time was not the same as investigating nowadays. You can get on the internet and pretty much find out anything you want to find out about somebody if you know what to do. No, it's not like that. He had to do all this stuff by foot, by phone, and all that. Anyway, so he finds out that when he was talking about the Chochas, that he meant the Chocho, and he's thinking, wait a minute, the Chocho were characters created by Lovecraft that were supposed to be fictional characters, but apparently not. They were supposed to be this weird race of beings, but apparently they were not, okay? So it just leads him more and more into the mystery, and during parts of his investigation, he keeps encountering in various forms, and I think one of the forms is even an album cover with John Coltrane, who was a black man, who was a horn player, but he keeps encountering these apparitions, or whatever you want to say, of a black human-like figure with what appears to be a horn coming out of his mouth. Alright? So that's all I'm really going to tell you about the story. I don't want to tell you how it ends. I mean, it's kind of hard to review short stories because you don't know where to stop. I mean, but, you know, anyway. So, I enjoyed this story overall. Alright? there were parts of it that were a little bit too slow paced for me. A few parts that I got kind of bored with it. Overall, it's a 3-star story to me. Okay. One thing I did enjoy about it, when I said, and I said this already, was I enjoyed how he told the story in first person. And I want to get to the first part of the book. Let me get it here. And the first part of the book actually does a really excellent job of drawing you into this first-person account. And I'm going to read an excerpt. I'll read this excerpt from it, all right? This is the very beginning of the book, and I'm not giving anything away, okay? There is something inherently comforting about the first-person past tense. It conjures up visions of some desk-bound narrator puffing contemplatively upon a pipe amid the safety of his study, lost in tranquil recollection, seasoned but essentially unscathed by whatever experience he's about to relate. It's the tense that says, I am here to tell the tale. I lived through it. So I like that. I like the way the author kind of sets that up and pulls you into, like I say, he pulls you into this man's story. You're invested in it with just that particular opening scene. So you want to hear what he has to say, all right? Now, some things I didn't quite like, and these are some of the things I'm kind of thinking by myself as far as cosmic horror is concerned. First of all, there are no chapter breaks. Well, there are, but they're not like chapter 1, 2, 3, or anything like that. And of course, this, like I said, it's a short story, so there's not going to be a lot of them anyway. But what you would consider to be the chapter breaks are quotes by Lovecraft about various things. Okay, just anything in particular. Let me see. Let me find one here. My God, how the years fly, stolidly middle-aged, when only yesterday I was young and eager and awed by the mystery of an unfolding world. Just little observations by Lovecraft, all right? Let me find another one here. Miami did not produce much of an impression. Also another quote by Lovecraft. I think Lovecraft was pretty much scared of every damn thing there was to be scared of, all right? Anyway, I think what I'm realizing about myself with cosmic horror and H.P. Lovecraft is I think I am more in love with the concept of cosmic horror than I am actually in love with the writing behind it. Because, let's face it, Lovecraft created some freaky, deaky, creepy creatures, all right? I mean, Cthulhu, Nyarlathotep, Azathoth. I mean, look at Azathoth. He's supposed to be this dreaming god who's dreaming us, and then when he wakes up, boom, we're gone, okay? So that's frightening. And you got, like I said, Nyarlathotep and Cthulhu and all that. Really creepy, just frightening creatures. But at the same time, Lovecraft's writing was so dry, so, I'm not really sure how to put it. I think the best way to put it is dry. It's just like sometimes, I have to admit, a lot of times with Lovecraft stories, and I know this is not a story by Lovecraft, but this one followed the same path because I had to do with this story what I've had to do with some of Lovecraft stories before. I'll be reading the story and thinking, okay, this is about this, this, and this. Or is it about this, this, and this? And I will literally have to go online, look up the story, and look and see and go, oh, okay, so that is what it was about. I was right. So, yeah, Lovecraft, cosmic horror, I'm not going to lie, it kind of confuses me at times. I'm just like, okay, you know, is this, like I said, is this what this was about? Oh, it was? Okay, good. All right. So I think that's the thing with me, is I think I'm more in love with the notion of cosmic horror, with the monsters and all that, and the storylines, the stories, than I am in actual love with the writing, or the writing of cosmic horror. You know, if you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I don't want to do that. Like I said, this was a 3-star story for me. It was a very good introduction to T.E.D. Klein. I do believe that I would probably read more of his books, or more of his stories. I'll probably finish this. There's 3 other stories in here. The other one is T.E.D, Nadelman's God, and I can't remember the other one was Children of the Kingdom. All right. Anyway, that is my reshoot of my review of Black Man with a Horn. I hope it made a lot more sense this time than it did to me the first time around. And until next time, thank you and take care and stay scared. Bye-bye.